Hello, everybody. I haven't done one of these in quite a while. It's been probably about 3 months since I've been on here last. I grew a beard. I got rid of it. So, yeah, I just wanted to jump in here and sort of give a little update. I mean, the world's been crazy. We're 40 some days from the election. Breonna Taylor's verdict from the grand jury came down this past week, and Louisville's been going through protests. Many cities across the country have been going through massive protests, and Portland, and where you had Kenosha and the Rittenhouse thing, and the Jacob Blake. Um, I really wish people would look at who they're supporting before they decide to put people like the NFL, for example, to put names on their helmet. Jacob Blake, for example, it came out pretty much that the police was called on him because he stole the keys to a vehicle that was not his. He put a child that was not, well, that was his in the vehicle with two other children, supposedly. But pretty much, the mother called the cops because he was trying to take her child that she probably had custody of. And, whether he's paying support or not, or whether he's the father or not, that does not excuse taking a child from the mother who has charges against him for sexual abuse, rape. Um, I'm not even going to get into the details that I've heard on other sources, but pretty much he's a sexual abuser, and that mother called the cops on him, and that was the day he was shot, and so she called. There's a 911 call of her calling the police and saying that he took her keys, and the cops came, and he had a warrant. They were trying to arrest him. They tried to tase him twice. It didn't do anything, and he was heading toward his vehicle to, potentially, or the vehicle that he was taking from the woman, um, which he had probably been in before the cops were there. He had a knife supposedly in his vehicle, and another one in his hand. There was some kind of weapon in his hand when he was walking back to the vehicle right before he was shot. So, I mean, what are the police supposed to do? I mean, he had a warrant. The police were called there by a woman who was raped by him, and he did not cooperate. He was walking to the vehicle to get a weapon after being tased twice and being told to stop resisting and being held at gunpoint by two or three officers. What were they supposed to do? Tell me that. Women out there, what would you have wanted done? Just to give him a little gentle pat on the head. Stop, Jacob. You're being a bad boy. No, no, he was resisting the police. He was there antagonizing the victim of rape. It's unbelievable that anybody in this world is supporting him for any reason whatsoever. So I'm going to leave that at that. So you got Breonna Taylor in Louisville. So everybody was told by the mainstream media that she was an innocent party that was in bed, and the cops came and beat on came in, on a no-knock warrant through the door and shot her while she was sleeping. That's not the truth. She was in the hallway with Kenneth Walker, her boyfriend. They, even though they had a no-knock warrant, they still knocked. Even Kenneth Walker, the guy who shot the cop, will tell you that they knocked. Now, he may not have heard them say, "Police, this is the police," or whatever, but he probably did hear that. And that's the reason he was standing behind the door, ready with a gun. So the second the cops bust through the door, He shot him. I mean, how many people? I mean, even in an inner city. I mean, any kind of neighborhood. When if somebody's pounding on your door, like you know, you, unless you know it's the police, you know, there might be a pounding on the door. It might be a drug dealer or something, but you're still gonna like confirm who it is before you just open fire the second they come through the door. You know, it could have been, and Brianna was supposedly tied to the drug dealing that was going on with her ex-boyfriend, Jamarcus, Jamarcus something. I can't remember his last name, but she was connected with that. If you look at the transcripts from when he was in jail and talking to people, she was holding money for him. Uh, she was not an EMT. She was an EMT like 3 years ago, and she left that job well before the shooting. After that, she was like an emergency room technician, supposedly. She left that job, I believe it was sometime this past year, probably about a year ago now, like October, November of 2019. And ever since then, even before the COVID, um, she was probably, honestly, working with Jamarcus, hence the jail tapes, holding money for him. She probably got a percentage of it just to pay her rent or to pay her Netflix or cable bill or internet bill, cell phone. She was probably, and I'm speculating here, but when you're connected with people like Jamarcus, um, you know, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. So, she was not in bed. She was standing in the hallway. And it's sort of curious that, if her boyfriend shot the cop, um, and the cops opened fire, why didn't he get killed? Why her? Did Kenneth Walker push Breonna in front of him? Did he use her as a body shield? She got hit 6 times. If she was like standing like next to him or behind him, she probably wouldn't have been hit that many times. Kenneth Walker, I searched around. I didn't see where he got hit much at all. I mean, maybe a wound or two, but and then his charges were dropped. He shot a cop. Now his charges were dropped. Um, the police charges, that came out from Attorney General Daniel Cameron, you know, he pretty much let the cops go. So, and everybody's mad about that. So if they were to like say the cops were, in the wrong and they like attempted murder or whatever, then shouldn't they go back and charge Kenneth Walker as well with attempted murder of a police officer after they're banging on the door? And even though it wasn't all the witnesses, at least one or one or two or three of the witnesses said that they heard, police, police banging on the door. So should they go ahead and charge him? Should they charge Breonna post posthumous as an accomplice to his crime? Um, Brianna, I think she was actually fired from, it was either the EMT job or the emergency room job because they found a dead body in a rental car in her name. I mean, how often does that happen? Has that happened to you or anybody else you know? I mean, seriously, has that happened to you or anybody else you know that a dead body was found in your car that was registered in your name to a rental company like Enterprise or whatever? Hertz, rent a car. I mean, no, no, it doesn't happen. So she was probably involved in some very, very, very serious stuff. She was laying low. Maybe Jamarcus was trying to protect her for his own good, so they wouldn't come after her and take all the money, confiscate the money that she was holding for him. So there's a lot more behind it. That's all I'm trying to say. There's a lot more behind it. She just was not some innocent little EMT that got fired, 3 years ago. I heard that was for stealing morphine, and then the one of the jobs was for the rental car dead body in her car. I mean, yeah. I mean, how much worse can I get? When you hang out with the wrong people, bad things happen. It's a fact of life. Sorry to say, people, wake up. I mean, seriously, wake up. So that's that. I'm gonna leave that alone. I gave my opinion on that. So I guess Trump and the Supreme Court, Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away this past week. Um, Trump, yeah, pretty quickly after she passed, he said, I'm gonna pick somebody to take her seat. He did. Uh, I mean, it was pretty much everybody pretty much knew who was going to get it. It was Amy Coney Barrett, um, mother of seven. For I'm not going to be politically correct, so sorry. Four normal children, one with a learning disability, Down syndrome, and then two adopted from Haiti. And she's Catholic, like staunch Catholic. So people are attacking her for her Catholicism, for her Catholic faith. I mean, she's a conservative Catholic, which is not, there's just like any religion, there's different sides of it, but they're attacking her conservative Catholicism, which is pretty sad. And then a lot of people are even attacking her for adopting Haitian children, calling her a racist. Like she adopted those children to cover up racism in her life. I mean, come on, really? If you want to consider anybody racist, look at what Hillary and Bill and their little friend Laura Silsby. Laura, common spelling. Silsby, 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 Silsby. Google her. She got caught trying to kidnapping and smuggling like 30. It's either 31 or 33 children out of Haiti after the earthquake back in I guess it was 2008 or 9, 10. I don't know. Um, but got caught. And then who came to her rescue? The Clintons, Bill and Hillary, Clinton Foundation, bailed her out, covered up the charges. But it's pretty well documented that she was caught trying to kidnap and smuggle. And now she's working for the Amber Alert system here in the United States. She's working for the Amber Alert. Isn't that great? Um, she's changed her name, and I don't have all the details in front of me, but Laura Silsby, Google her. Clinton, put that keyword in there too. So I'll leave that one at that. Do your own research. Um, yeah. I guess on another note, I watched the relatively new Netflix documentary, Social Dilemma. A couple friends had recommended it to me, saying it was pretty eye-opening, hard-hitting. And so I watched it probably Thursday night, Wednesday or Thursday night, and it did hit close to home. How people are getting so pulled into social media. Families are, just not. I wouldn't necessarily say torn apart, even though some of them are torn apart by social media and the effects of social media. But even at the base level, um, like, and I use my own as an example. Yes, I'm an online guy. I do stuff online. I work online. I telecommute. I work from home, and over the years, my daughters, they've finally gotten smartphones and stuff. But when they visit me, I'm divorced, and I have them every 2 weeks, every other weekend, and a couple weeks in the summer. They're always on their phones. They're always on their tablet or their laptops or chatting online or on Instagram. And I see my daughters up late at night, doing Instagram like live videos or whatnot. And so I showed them the documentary. I felt compelled to after I watched it the other day, and honestly, I'm very seriously considering deleting my personal Facebook, but keeping a friend free, just zero friends, Facebook account to manage my business pages and my clients, business pages. So I'm very seriously considering that. Um, you know, just because there's people are on it too much. I mean, in this documentary, they even had like the founder or CEO, president of Pinterest. That's a good example. He went to work every day, worked on Pinterest, um, building a platform, a tool for people to use, and then he found himself being caught up in his own creation. Like at home, like at dinner time, he'd go to the pantry to find something to cook, and he would find himself scrolling through his Pinterest um, feed or whatever. And when his kids were around, he would find himself being drawn to that and stuff. And the whole documentary had a lot of people who were the actual creators of the products, a vice president, a senior vice president, um, a president, a CEO, a chair, and somebody who was heavily involved in all these companies from Facebook to Google to Pinterest to Instagram, and then some other miscellaneous industry people, who know about the algorithms and how they invade our lives and our privacy. So uh, I'll just go ahead and recommend just watch the Social Dilemma on Facebook. So that's that. Um, Getting about, I guess I'm about 17 minutes in. I'm trying to keep these videos a little bit shorter so they're a little bit more digestible instead of going into like 25, 27, 30-minute videos. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it off here. Let's see, what is today? Today is Monday, September the 28th of 2020. Um, as I said early on, the election's here. It's a little bit over 40 days. Got the Supreme Court nominee. That should be fun here in the next couple weeks. I think they wanted to have her appointed by like October 26th or something like that at the latest. But even Ruth Bader Ginsburg agreed that the president is the president, even in the fourth year of his presidency. And even though the Democrats are saying that he shouldn't appoint somebody, Ruth Bader Ginsburg disagrees. Um, you look it up. There's a video of her talking about how the president's the president, and when a nomination comes up, he needs to nominate. She was talking about Obama at the time, but it applies even now. So the hypocrisy on the left is astounding. Go watch some of Tim Pool's videos on the topic here over the last couple days. So that's about it. Gonna jump out. You all have a good night, and I'll try to get some updates out a little bit more often. So peace out.